Okay.
Allow record. There we go. Okay. Let's see here. If my camera's going to turn on. Okay. There we go. Okay, so give me 1 second. I did print out your report here, and I just want to have it in my
Okay.
hands. And
Hey, let me get I'm at my parents' place. Let me get a couple books so my view is better. I'll be right back. Okay, that's better.
okay, so let's go ahead and begin with stating your name
Okay.
and how you spell it, and then your title, please.
Okay, Thomas Fellows, ThomasFellows, Chat GPT researcher.
Okay, perfect. So I wanted to reach out to you because we're working on a story about how, um, AI will possibly be affecting jobs, and if it
Yes.
hasn't already. So,
Yes.
I know that you have here in like your report that you touch base on some of the jobs that it can affect, like tech
Yes.
jobs, media, the legal industry, which is actually quite interesting. I definitely would love to know how important that is, and then
Yes.
the market research, finance, traders, and graphic designs, and accountants, and customer service agents.
Yes. Yes. Well, the biggest thing that you've got to understand about Chat GPT and this new form of artificial intelligence is it's not only thinking convergently. So convergent thinking is like doing a physics problem, a math problem, learning a foreign language, or doing close reading to a novel. It's also thinking divergently. So divergent thinking is like how many uses you can have for a tin can. And that's why it's going to take away jobs, because that's a pretty human element when it comes to doing jobs, is that creativity. Additionally, ChatGPT is starting to think like a human being. So it's starting to encompass the big five personality traits of neuroticism, openness to experience, agreeableness, conscientiousness, and extroversion. So that's why it's going to have such a strong impact on the workforce, and it already has. It's already taken away jobs. Copywriting jobs are being taken away. It's affecting the legal industry. You may have heard that somebody used ChatGPT and it didn't work out too well and they got in trouble. But there's so many cases where lawyers, I was just talking to a lawyer today with a prominent firm in Atlanta, and he was talking about how it can be useful in the legal arena. So again, ChatGPT is basically a large language model, an advanced algorithm. And whereas in the past, when you look at calculators, it deals with numbers, but basically, words have become data in this, new algorithm.
And I also wanted to touch on, so do you think that, AI GPT is kind of, a tool that is useful, or do you think it will just completely just take those jobs away and people should be?
A little bit of both. Even when I started studying AI really about 9 years ago, I worked for a company called Labella, and we automated system refreshes. And those jobs were typically paying, and this is, in money 9 years ago. There's been a lot of inflation since then, especially over the last few years. These jobs were paying, maybe $80,000 to $120,000 a year. So easily in the upper middle class. And I saw those jobs being taken away by my software. And basically, like I said, things that are convergent thinking, where there's one solution to a problem, that's going to be taken away. But, even things that require divergent thinking are starting to be taken away. And if you don't have practical intelligence, which Robert Sternberg defines as knowing what to say to whom, when to say it, and how to say it with maximum effect, if you don't have emotional intelligence, which involves reading people effectively, having empathy, and so forth, and if you don't think outside the box and have human judgment, your job could be taken away.
And I know that here in your report that one of the questions was, will we see another industrial revolution? So I definitely want to like touch more on the depth of that, because I know AI is already being used for lots of things.
Yes.
I've seen lately on like social media that people use the tool to create professional profile pictures. Uh,
Yes.
and
Yes.
also they will also use it kind of at least for my station, we use this website called Storyline, and
Mhm.
we have an AI has been recently added to it to create headlines. Um,
Yes.
it's very interesting, and I think even with the writer's strike going on right now,
Yes. Mhm.
AI comes into play with that. So,
Well, yeah.
uh,
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing that people have got to understand is that AI does not have to be 100% accurate to take away jobs. Even if it's 90% accurate, 80% accurate, 75%, even 50% accurate, it can still take away jobs. If you're calling into a call center, you're not going to get a human being to begin with a lot of the times now. And companies are playing percentages. And you can escalate your call where you get a human being, but companies are going to do whatever they can to cut costs. And if they can do so through AI, they will absolutely do so. In terms of the Industrial Revolution, what we saw in the Industrial Revolution was trust, automation, and language. And we're seeing that to the nth degree with AI. And whereas the Industrial Revolution created jobs in factories, even the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, has said that we might not be ready as a human race to find these new jobs. Additionally, Sam Altman has said that, Chat GPT only takes away tasks, not jobs, but any worker knows that a job is made up full of tasks. So that's why it's going to already having a significant impact in the workforce. There's already jobs being cut. Even IBM, I believe there's about 7,500 jobs that now they no longer are hiring for because of AI.
and I know that I believe like what else is like also being affected using AI. I believe some factory plants and others. I know you mentioned IBM, but like I feel like stuff like maybe cars and stuff like that. Like big companies would probably somehow incorporate AI automation to help.
Well, what we saw in the past in, say, the 80s and 90s and 2000s was jobs being automated in maybe the lower middle and middle class, but now we're seeing jobs being taken away in essentially the upper middle and upper class. So we're seeing, a copywriting job in the past might pay 100K a year. I mean, not killing it, but not doing poorly either, doing pretty well overall. And those jobs are essentially being taken away now. So, even since I worked for this company, even in 2015, 2016, I like politics, but automation, whether you're a Republican or Democrat or independent, is going to affect this country more so than any political policies.
And also, do you think that within maybe the last few years, since the quarantine, pandemic, and stuff like that, and then people discovering they like working from home and don't want to go
Yes.
out and grab those jobs that are being offered, do you think with those open jobs that are still open, AI can find a way to take them over?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Because AI is, getting more powerful by the day. Chat GPT came out in November of 2022. And I mean, there was artificial intelligence even before Chat GPT came out. What I saw on Gmail was unbelievable even before Chat GPT came out. And, Gmail, of course, is free. So it really is pretty amazing. But what I'm encouraging parents and schools is we've got to do a better job of preparing our students for the workforce. Even Einstein warned against the dangers of rote memorization. Additionally, Einstein once said the sign of true intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. And imagination involves divergent thinking. And a lot of times our schools don't do a good job of implementing assignments that involve divergent thinking.
And is there anything else that you feel that we haven't touched on yet or a question I didn't ask that you feel like would be important?
I think even, I think I talked about this in the report, but the top two majors at the business school that I went to in Alabama were finance and accounting. And, those jobs could be partially automated, if not completely automated, because they don't require much human judgment. Um, so again, to keep this job in this new economy, and this will be a new economy, you've got to have emotional intelligence, practical intelligence, thinking outside the box, and divergent thinking.
And I definitely also wanted to mention, I noticed with certain devices that we use as a helpful daily tool, like the Alexa Echo Dot
Yes.
stuff. I've had mine for, I want to say like about 4 years now, and I've noticed it updates itself, it grows, and
Yes.
with its intelligence and responses, which is very interesting.
Yes.
Um, do you think that people should be worried about how rapidly it's changing and other things is changing?
You've got to be worried about scams because now AI can mimic voices. So you've got to be very careful about who you're talking to on the phone, and you've got to know that that's the actual person you're talking to. There's many, fake news can happen now. Fake news can affect the stock market. And once you're affecting the stock market, that's when it gets very serious. So we've got to be very careful. And I'm glad there's starting to be some regulation around AI. But it's scary what could potentially happen for sure.
Well, I think that has all the questions from me for right now. I truly appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Yes.
Um,
Thank
I
you.
I'll be meeting with a professor today over
Okay.
at Missouri University,
Okay.
Missouri, to talk because they have an artificial intelligence program that also touches
Okay.
ChatGPT.
Okay.
So
And when do you think this will air?
this will air. The plans is for August 9th. Um,
Okay.
so I
All
can
right.
also, send you a link that day because I will also be posting it online with an article.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm also working on some education reform as well. I can send you that information over email just in case you'd like to, with the student debt, forgiveness program. I've been interviewing with some stations recently on that as well.
Okay, I will greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.